Nelson Mandela's life and legacy are inextricably linked with the struggle against apartheid, the system of institutionalized racial segregation and discrimination in South Africa. Apartheid, established in 1948 by the National Party government, sought to maintain white supremacy by disenfranchising the black majority. Mandela, a prominent leader in the African National Congress (ANC), dedicated his life to dismantling this oppressive regime. Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela was born on July 18, 1918, in the village of Mvezo in Umkhonto, then part of South Africa's Cape Province. He was given the name Rolihlahla, meaning troublemaker in Xhosa. Mandela belonged to the Tembu royal family, part of the Xhosa nation. His early years were steeped in traditional African culture, but he also received a Western education, which broadened his perspectives. Mandela's childhood was relatively uneventful until the death of his father, Chief Henry Mandela, when Mandela was 9. He was then placed under the guardianship of Chief Jongintaba Madiba, who ensured Mandela received a formal education. Mandela attended primary school in Kunu, where his teacher, Miss Mdingane, gave him the English name Nelson. He later attended Klerk Boarding Institute, Healdtown, and finally the University College of Fort Hare, an elite black institution. In 1952, Mandela became a leading figure in the Defiance Campaign, a mass civil disobedience movement against apartheid laws initiated by the ANC and the South African Indian Congress. This campaign marked a significant escalation in the resistance against apartheid, as thousands of volunteers defied discriminatory laws and courted arrest. Mandela's leadership during this campaign elevated his status within the ANC and among the broader population. Mandela's pursuit of education did not end with his early schooling. He completed his BA through the University of South Africa after being expelled from Fort Hare for participating in a student protest. In 1943, he enrolled in the University of Witwatersrand to study law, where he encountered a diverse array of students and future political leaders. Mandela's legal career officially began when he co-founded South Africa's first black law firm, Mandela and Tambo, in 1952 with Oliver Tambo. The firm provided affordable legal counsel to black South Africans, further embedding Mandela in the struggle for justice. In 1955, Mandela played a key role in the drafting and adoption of the Freedom Charter, a document that outlined the core principles and goals of the anti-apartheid movement. The charter called for a non-racial South Africa with equal rights for all citizens, including the redistribution of land and nationalization of key industries. The Freedom Charter became a blueprint for the future democratic South Africa Mandela envisioned. As peaceful protests met with increasing repression, Mandela recognized the need for more militant strategies. In 1961, he co-founded Umkhonto MK, the armed wing of the ANC, to carry out acts of sabotage against government installations. Mandela underwent military training in Algeria and Ethiopia and sought support from other African nations. While Mandela believed in non-violence, he also felt compelled to take up arms when all other avenues of resistance had been exhausted. Mandela's activities with MK made him a wanted man. He lived a life on the run, adopting various disguises and aliases, earning the nickname the Black Pimpernel. However, in August 1962, Mandela was captured and arrested. He was initially sentenced to 5 years in prison for inciting workers' strikes and leaving the country illegally. In 1964, during the Rivonia trial, he and other ANC leaders were sentenced to life imprisonment for sabotage and conspiracy to overthrow the government. Mandela's imprisonment on Robben Island, and later Pollsmoor Prison and Victor Verster Prison, lasted 27 years. During this time, he became a global symbol of resistance against apartheid. Despite harsh conditions, Mandela continued his activism from behind bars, maintaining correspondence with anti-apartheid leaders and the international community. His resilience and fortitude inspired many, and calls for his release grew louder over the years. Mandela's release on February 11, 1990, marked a turning point in South African history. He immediately took on a leadership role in the negotiations to end apartheid and establish a democratic South Africa. Mandela's emphasis on justice and peace was paramount as he worked tirelessly to prevent a civil war and to reconcile a deeply divided nation. Nelson Mandela's connection with Arthur Goldreich, a Jewish anti-apartheid activist, is notable. Goldreich, who disguised himself as a wealthy farmer, provided a safe house for Mandela and other ANC leaders at Lily's Leaf Farm. Mandela's relationship with Goldreich and other Jewish activists highlighted the diverse support base of the anti-apartheid movement. Mandela's leadership qualities were evident throughout his life. His ability to inspire, his strategic vision, and his unwavering commitment to justice made him a revered figure. As president of the ANC and later as the first black president of South Africa, Mandela led with compassion, humility, and a deep sense of responsibility towards his people and nation. Mandela's personal life was marked by several marriages and a large extended family. His first marriage to Evelyn Toko Mays ended in divorce in 1957. He then married Winnie Madikizela in 1958, a union that lasted until 1996 and produced 2 daughters. Winnie played a significant role in the anti-apartheid struggle, though their marriage was strained by long separations and political pressures. In 1998, Mandela married Graca Machel, the widow of Mozambican President Samora Machel, forming a partnership that lasted until his death. In 1993, Mandela was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize along with then South African President F.W. de Klerk for their efforts to dismantle apartheid and lay the foundations for a democratic South Africa. The prize recognized Mandela's commitment to reconciliation and his ability to negotiate and compromise for the greater good of the nation. Mandela served as president from 1994 to 1999, choosing to step down after 1 term. His presidency focused on national reconciliation, economic stability, and establishing democratic institutions. Mandela's decision to serve only 1 term was a testament to his commitment to democratic principles and set a powerful example for future leaders. After retiring from politics, Mandela continued to work for peace, justice, and human rights. He established the Nelson Mandela Foundation, which focused on promoting his legacy through dialogue and social justice initiatives. Mandela also became a global elder statesman, lending his voice to various causes, including the fight against HIV/AIDS. Mandela's speeches and writings are filled with memorable quotes that continue to inspire people worldwide. Some of his most famous quotes include, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world, and I have walked that long road to freedom. I have tried not to falter. I have made missteps along the way. But I have discovered the secret that after climbing a great hill, one only finds that there are many more hills to climb." Robben Island, where Mandela spent 18 of his 27 years in prison, has become a symbol of his struggle and resilience. Today, it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and museum, attracting visitors who seek to learn about Mandela's life and the broader history of apartheid in South Africa. Mandela's vision for South Africa was one of a rainbow nation, where all people, regardless of race, could live in harmony and equality. His leadership and policies helped to transition South Africa from a pariah state to a respected member of the international community, setting an example of peaceful transition and reconciliation.